so today I am going to be talking about Shang Dynasty and what we learned about it and what I studied. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be talking about Shang Dynasty, and we're going to be talking about how like the history of it, time frame, government, religion, how they wrote, stuff like that. Okay, so for time frame, that's like basically like how long they were in control or in power of that area, and they settled in Yonghai Valley from 17,000 to 1122 BCE, and that was the time frame. And for the Shang capital city, that was the first Shang dynasty that was considered a legend, because it was considered a legend by kids because college kids like made it up, and they made up how they wrote on bones of animals. But in 1819, the Chinese scholar found some bones with writing on them, and so they did some more research and found the remains of Shang Dynasty in the 1920s. And for government, they relied on their army and they relied on their army to protect them from like more distant kingdoms. And it was they had split up into, like, because there were so many, they had to split up into different different kingdoms. And there was the king, but then the other kings they were smaller, but they were ruled by his younger nephews and his brothers. And it was led by a powerful king, and when the king passed away, either his younger brother, or if he didn't have any, then it would go down to like another relative, like the nephew. And one thing that they were really on top of was almost all their weapons were made out of bronze. They were first civilized with that, so they got bronze. And they had really large numbers of foot soldiers, archers, men and horses and elephants, and fighters and chariots. And with the chariots, they'd have three in them. One's driving, one was holding a spear, and the other one's doing the same but on the other side. And for social classes, they were in different levels. The king had his relatives. Kings and relatives were at the highest. Then nobles and artisans, traders, farmers, and then last were the slaves. And they all had their jobs they had to do, but it just kept going. They weren't as important as the kings, and everybody was more at the top, so it just kept going down and down more until it got to the bottom of the slaves. And some of them they were crafters. Some of them, like they said, the farmers got the food. Slaves that doing other people's work. Assistants, they were they made statues and everything. And for religion, they worshiped their ancestors. So once they died, you could tell they believed in the afterlife because they left so many treasures with them. And they also believed that they had power, that they had like how would you say it? They believed that they could harm or help in the afterlife, and they would also choose on how to talk to them. And they would choose like ask them like requirements and stuff like that, or like when we should go attack, and they'd talk to them on like an oracle, which is like the shoulder blade of a cow, and then they would write on it, and the crack that they made in it would choose between what to do. And then for early writing in Chinese, it was more like pictures and images, so that was big. And Okay, for early writing in Shang for the Shang Dynasty, it was most